Hello, and thank you for tuning into Idleminds. First off, full disclosure, I am not a psychiatrist, a psychologist, nor a doctor. Um, Most of my speaking is going to be opinionated or something that I've dealt with myself or have talked to other people about dealing with. Um, I'm a military veteran. I was in for 5 years, and a lot of the stuff that I talk about to do with depression, anxiety, sleeplessness, that kind of stuff is going to come from stuff that I had dealt with or I'm currently dealing with. Um, this first podcast is going to talk about anxiety and depression. I'm going to touch base on a little bit of both, being this is my first one. It's going to be a rather short one. And first off, I just have to say, if you're listening to this, I appreciate it. This is to help not only you and your friends, but also to help me so I can talk about it and so I can also help you and your friends or who's ever listening to it get through what they're dealing with. First off, it's okay to say you're not okay. Not everybody can understand what you're going through, or not everybody is going to agree with you saying that you're not okay. But you would be better off talking to somebody, whether it be about, a fear that you have, or you're just really, really sad or upset. What I found most encouraging when I was in the military is the first time I had a panic attack. I went and talked to the chaplain on board my ship. And he said something that had stuck with me for this whole time. And it's closed mouths don't get fed. If you don't ask for help, there's a chance that you won't be able to get the help that you need. People can't read minds. It's, just as it is hard for you to go through your anxiety, just fearfulness or depression, being really, really sad. It's, if you're talking to somebody, they might be dealing with the same thing. And that way you're not alone in going through what you're going through at that time and moment in time. And it's okay for people not to understand. That's one thing that I had dealt with for quite a while, is people don't really understand at times. Like, you say that you're depressed and they'll think, oh, well, he's just extremely sad. And it's not always the case. Sometimes it's a chronic depression and it's hard to pull yourself out of it. It, just one thing can set you off one day and you can be extremely sad and upset for quite a while. And that goes for anxiety too. A lot of people, you tell them that you're having a panic attack or an anxiety attack, and they're not going to understand what that is. Not because they're ignorant or they don't want to understand. It's just because it's a hard concept to follow. And you can't really get mad at them because they don't understand. Because at a time, a lot of people don't understand what they're going through unless they're going through it themselves. Um, and that goes both ways. People might get mad at you because they don't understand what you're saying. And you have to be as clear and concise as possible with what you are saying. Like if you're just extremely sad and someone is like, oh, well, that's not depression. Well, depression has many levels. Like there's just, I'm extremely sad, and I just feel it in my heart and my bones that I just don't want to move today. And then there's the kind of depression that's like debilitating and you can't move. Like it just takes so much energy to move or to just get daily things done, like brush your teeth, brush your hair, take a shower. What I find most helpful when I'm feeling depressed, that kind of depression, is to take a shower, or take a warm bath. And that helps relieve a little bit of stress. Put some bath salts in there and just relax, listen to some nice calming music. I'm not one to listen to calming music. I like metal, or heavy rock. But, sometimes you just gotta take those couple moments and just relax a little bit. And same goes for anxiety. You know, not everybody has access to a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a physician to give them medications for anxiety or depression. So a lot of people have to deal with it the hard way. They have to deal with it, face it. And at times, it is going to be hard. But there's a lot of things that you can do to get over it without prescriptions. My girlfriend, she was reading some stuff online, and she found that if you're having an anxiety attack and you're pouring sweat, to take an ice cube and put it on the back of your neck. What it does is it cools you down and those nerves, so your nerves will calm down a little bit faster and your heart rate will go down. And I actually tried it and it worked quite well. It's not always a negative thing to have anxiety or depression. It's actually a lot more common than you would think. People under a lot of stress, people that, if you're a supervisor or boss, a CEO of a company, people below you are going to have anxiety. And even if, going all the way up, you're the bottom tier, it goes all the way up because there's a lot of stressors throughout your daily life that, even like a small anxiety attack or, anxiousness, it's still considered as anxiety. And a lot of people don't understand that. And another thing that I had to get through myself is that everybody's dealing with their own form of anxiety or depression. And there's going to be times where people are going to rebuttal against you or dispute your anxiety personally. Where you're talking about it and they're going to say, well, everybody has anxiety, everybody has depression, you're not special. I'm going to tell you something. You are special. You have anxiety, you have depression, it's important to you that makes you special. And just because some people don't understand, anxiety, depression, doesn't mean that you're wrong for having, issues. It's just, sometimes you just gotta pick and choose your battles. And whether it be talking to a friend or, talking to a stranger, if your friends don't understand what you're going through and they don't want to deal with it, that's their problem. You can still be friends with them, but it would probably be best not to talk to them about it, because they're the kind of people that are going to try to make you stay quiet. Now, a good person or a good friend, or even a stranger that you talk to, and they say, you're not alone, you need to get help, or, just talk to somebody about it. That's the best case scenario. Because once you get to the point where your anxiety and your depression is overcoming you, it's hard to come back from that. Because I was there for a while. I was told that it's all in my head, that there's no such thing as anxiety or depression. And it's just sadness and fear. It kind of gets to you. Because after a while, you train your mind to say that there's nothing wrong with you. And that's not always the case, because eventually that can hurt you in the long run, to the point where you can't get out of that hole. You've dug yourself into a hole where, you're stuck with this anxiety and depression, and eventually it's going to turn into anger. And it's not going to be so much that you're angry. It's just, what I found is, it's not that I'm angry toward anything. It's, I'm angry because I didn't get help, that I let other people around me control the help that I was getting. If I would have went and asked for help earlier on, if I would have said, no, I need to go talk to somebody, I probably wouldn't be sitting in the point where I am now. I might still be doing the podcast, but it's a lot, and people don't always understand that. You're dealing with anxiety, and you're depressed because you're anxious all the time, and you're anxious all the time because you're depressed, and it's just a really bad circle, a really bad loop. And it can be damaging to you, to the people around you, even to the point where it could destroy your love life. Because, a lot of other things come up with anxiety and depression, because what I found is that my anxiety will kick in more if I'm going out with friends, or my girlfriend goes out with friends. 150,000 things that could go wrong, just driving like a mile and a half. and that's not healthy for a relationship. And being depressed all the time, again, not healthy for a relationship. You know, because you gotta do chores around the house, and if you're depressed and you don't want to move, those chores aren't going to get done. But I think that, going on with these podcasts, I can open up a little bit more and help you with the experience and intelligence that I might have and pass it on to you. But with that, I'm going to end this one. Like I said, it's okay to ask for help, and closed mouths will not get fed. People cannot read your minds. Some people can see if you're having issues, but you have to take the first step most of the time to get the help. This is Idleminds, so thank you for listening. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to message me, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.